What I'm gonna show you today isn't one of the best primary weapons in Warframe. No, but it does have something special, something that no other primary weapon has. Something subjectively fun. So today, my friends, we're gonna be diving deeper into the Prisma Grakata, a mastery rank 11 primary weapon. As always, I got a cheap build, something affordable that most Tenno should be able to build, and of course we also got the quote-unquote endgame set up with a Riven and everything. That said though, please keep in mind that my builds and guides usually take a new player friendly approach. I'm gonna be taking my time and explaining whatever I feel is necessary for newer players. So in case you're a vet and you already know most of this stuff, please bear with me. As always, my name is Leyzar and this is the Prisma Grakata. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of free shots. The Prisma Grakata is a pretty simple and straightforward primary weapon. It's an automatic hit scan rifle. You point, you shoot, you win. It doesn't really get any more easier than that. It's got a huge magazine capacity, super solid fire rate by default, a pretty large ammo pool as well, but it has one major issue when it comes to usability, and that's the jumpy recoil on the weapon. Allow me to demonstrate with our usual 15-meter test. Take a look at that. It goes up and down, not so much from side to side, but one more time. Up and down like that, and that's a bit of an issue. It makes this weapon a true blue spray and pray experience. Essentially, it's a bullet hose. So while you may have huge magazine, while you may have fire rate, while you may have even a solid ammo reserve, it basically kind of goes all over the place. And you will want to get headshots with this weapon, but more on that just a tad later. In the meantime, let's have a closer look at stats to see exactly what we're dealing with. Mod capacity is gonna be 60 out of 60. Jump into actions, plug in that auto-king catalyst, and double that mod capacity. Is it worth it on it? Definitely, because I believe that the Grakata and the Prisma Grakata offer a unique primary experience in Warframe. More on that again, just a tad later. Now you can pay 20 plat to have an auto-king catalyst installed. You can get a blueprint from the daily sortie. You can also grind one from Nightwave. My weapon has been formatted a total of... Wow, I actually got the 9 on this one. That's not important. What is important for your build? 4 forma. Maybe you might want to go to 5. The weapon excellence slot on the Prisma Grakata is definitely worth unlocking. Into this one, if you choose to go for a Wild Frenzy build, there's a very specific mod that you can use, but if not, I would encourage you to go with Stabilizer. Please look at the huge impact this mod has on this weapon. Take a look. Oh my god, that's miles better than what it was before. You can actually rely on the bullets, landing on the target. It doesn't matter how many bullets you fire if you're not landing them on the bloody target, right? Right. Power without control and all of that good stuff. This also means that we can't really use heavy calibre, unfortunately. It goes to 15.5. I want to show you the effect, but wait, with multi-shot. When you're testing heavy caliber or minus accuracy effects in general, for example, maybe you have a Riven, right, with minus accuracy, make sure you have all the multi-shot that you're going to be using as well, just to see exactly how the bullets go, because normally heavy caliber and magnum force affect more the bullets or the projectiles resulting from multi-shot than the initial projectiles or bullets. Take a look. Now, not really advisable from my humble point of view. Again, you got a lot of bullets, let's make them count, each and every single one. So no heavy caliber on this one. Crit chance and crit damage, 25% base with a 2.5x critical multiplier, definitely delicious, with a 21.67 default fire rate, magazine of 120, just insane, man. A noise alarming, of course, and a reload of 2 seconds. Now, 2 seconds reload with a magazine of 120 is really not all that bad, but if you factor in Wild Frenzy and all the cool builds we can come up with this one, it does seem to be a little bit on the lengthy side, but again, more on that later. The Prisma Grakata, sadly, is not or happily, depending on your point of view, is not a very popular weapon. So Riven disposition is currently set at 4 out of 5, which means we can leverage the power of Rivens. Of course, you will still need a proper roll though, so bear that one in mind. Status chance of 21%, which is solid, and the damage on this one, well, sadly, it's the full array of IPS, impact, puncture, and slash, and the highest is impact, 6, 5, and 4, totaling 15 damage per bullet by default, which is not a lot, but keep in mind, we are peppering our targets with a lot of bullets. So let's have a look at a standard build, shall we? Damage with Serration, multi-shot with split chamber, critical chance and critical damage between point strike, vital sense, and of course Hunter Munitions has to be here as well, plus the 260-60 vital mods, Rhyme Rounds, and Malignant Force. Now, initially, what we're gonna be doing is going for a build without Wild Frenzy, and then we're gonna incorporate Wild Frenzy into a different build, and I'll explain why that is just a little bit later. And of course, Stabilizer in the weapon Exilus or Plexilus slot. If this is not a Wild Frenzy build, and the reason why I try to avoid it initially at least, this is a cheap build, meant for newer Tenno to the game, and Wild Frenzy is not easily accessible. Wild Frenzy was made available with the Wolf of Saturn 6, what was that called? Nightwave, right? It does come back from time to time, but it's still not a mod that you can easily get your hands on, so bear that one in mind. In the final slot, this is what I like to call an option slot. Plug into this one whatever you feel comfortable with. It's a lot more important to cater your weapons to your own individual preferences than just more damage, bro. Yeah, more damage. Here's a solid choice, though. More multi-shot with Vigilante armament. 60% is not a whole lot, but it's still definitely better than nothing. It's a solid mod. Multi-shot right now when it comes to primaries and secondaries is still king. Plus, you get that added benefit, that chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. Now, it says 20% here. It's mistaking. It's only 5 per mod. It's a simulacrum bug. You get 5 per mod. It doesn't mean 5% extra crit chance. It works slightly different, but it's definitely something worth noting. So bear that one in mind. What other options do we have, however? Well, Punch Through. I love Punch Through. It's a very, very, very powerful stat in Warframe. And if you got Prime Shred, just plug in Prime Shred and be done with it. You're gonna kill multiple enemies at the same time. Of course, if you don't have the Prime version, you can always use the normal version of Shred. 30% fire rate with 1.2 meters worth of Punch Through. Now, I don't remember where you got this one. Hey, could you correct me in the chat down below in case I'm wrong? I think this one was from Nightmare Missions, but again, I might be mistaken. If not, if that's not your cup of tea, although I do recommend you at least give it a spin once in a while, you can also do the following. Another 60-60 mod. Heat for my round. 60-60 heat mod. More status chance and heat, which right now in Warframe is the most powerful, or arguably the most powerful single elemental that you can have. If you're facing issues with ammo and the accuracy isn't really a big deal for you, you don't really care all that much, perhaps use the Prisma Grakata close range to your enemies, you can forget about Stabilizer and just go with Vigilante supplies, and that will help you with the ammo. Alternatively, you can always drop a pad, it's really not that big of a deal, or go with Carrier and Ammo Case. So initially, this is the build I'm recommending for a newer Tenno. Stabilizer is optional, the Thermite rounds is optional, the rest of the mods are pretty simple to get, and if you don't have a whole lot of endo for Serration, leave 2 free, even 4 from the top, so bear that one in mind. No Sentinel and no build for Garuda to skew the test results. And we're gonna be testing the weapon against level 120, Corrupted Heavy Goons, as per the usual. Straight for a headshot, my friends. When you're dealing with critical weapon, always go straight for a headshot. You have additional multipliers, and if you still don't know how critical chance and critical damage actually works in Warframe, link the cards right now. So it took about, well, less than 30 bullets to kill off that target, but what I'm doing right now with a bleed build is hitting a target till about 50%, then watching the bleeds deal the damage. It doesn't always work out so well, but take a look at that. That was 60% on the target, had 20 bleeds on that, and I think 5 or 6 or how many, 10 vital procs, 9 bleeds on the target, absolutely bloody destroyed. What was that? Wait, I forgot the magazine was 120, my bad. That was 28 bullets out of the weapon. Take a look. Beautiful. 10 vitals, you get the 10 vitals really, really quick, and keep in mind you cannot go over 10 vitals, but you can stack on slashes till kingdom come, so bear that one. And that's why Hunter Munitions is so bloody powerful currently in Warframe. So as you can see, my friends, the performance of the weapon is absolutely awesome for a primary weapon, considering the mastery lockout, considering everything, considering this is a cheap build, that is definitely worth keeping in mind if you're looking for a bullet hose kind of experience. And again, that Stabilizer does make a big difference, as you can see. This is essentially how we build most of our primary weapons right now, as long as they have crit. If they don't have crit, if they have status, if they're shotguns, then we take a bit of a different approach. But with this weapon, because we have a very interesting augment, which I will present right now, it's called Wild Frenzy, my friends. Let me show you Wild Frenzy. We're gonna try a totally different build. It came with, was the Wolf of Saturn 6 Season 1? I don't remember if I think it was season 1 because it was the coolest season. Take a look at this one, Wild Frenzy. Secondary fire, which normally you don't have a secondary fire on. The weapon will shoot with 400% fire rate until the magazine is empty. Killing 2 or more enemies will refund 100% of the ammo. It honestly brings a tear to your eye. But a few explanations about this mod. First of all, you can't stop it, right? It keeps going. When you shoot with your secondary fire with that 400% fire rate, it just keeps going. Unless you interrupt it with something like a roll. See that? But let's say that, for example, you shoot, I don't know, 30 bullets or whatever, how many I shot now, and you use the remainder 68 bullets to kill off 2 targets, you will get a refund of 68 bullets, not the full 120. So bear that one in mind. Another thing which is worth noting, that refund, I thought initially it would go straight to your magazine. It doesn't. It goes to your ammo pool, right? So bear that one in mind. It's a fantastic mod, but it does have a couple of issues. I need to kill 2 or more enemies. What is important to note about Wild Frenzy also is that it sets the weapon's fire rate to 400. It's not like it adds 400 to the base, it just sets it to 400 when you press alternative fire. That's kind of how it works. So what I can do is, instead of stabilizer, I can use something even more powerful. And thank you, Zach, for tipping me off to this one. I totally forgot about it. You can go with Vile Precision. 90% weapon recoil and minus 36% fire rate. That doesn't matter because, again, as soon as Wild Frenzy kicks in, basically what it does, it sets the weapon's fire rate to 400 regardless of whatever else it has on. So, for example, I can put on all the fire rate in the world. It won't matter. When Wild Frenzy kicks in, it's set to 400, period. So basically, that's how this one works. But if I go this route, then I'm gonna have a lot of issues with ammo as well. An option to solve your ammo issues is to do the following. Another mod that is Grakata only, and I basically, well, you can't really use it in anything else. Brain of the Storm. Check it out. Have you ever used this one? It's a non-headshot, 100% ammo efficiency for 1 second on the Grakata. So basically, you got the accuracy out of Wild Precision, you got the fire rate out of Wild Frenzy, and you got the ammo efficiency out of Brainstorm. And let's be honest, for 1 second, sure, but that doesn't matter because I'm peppering my targets with a whole lot of bullets. So what's the catch? There always has to be a catch, right? Well, while you can use Brainstorm with Wild Frenzy, ammunition will not be refunded if Brainstorm activates during the burst. And of course, additional headshots will refresh Brainstorm's duration. So bear this one in mind. I'm gonna show you how the weapon works like this, then we're gonna take out Brainstorm, alright? It's an option. That's all I'm saying. It's an option. But if we're not gonna go for Hunter Munitions, or we're going down to Deimos, we no longer need the Vital Combo. So instead, we're gonna use the Electricity mod. And again, this is not a build for beginners. Wild Frenzy is not exactly beginner friendly unless you were on when Season 1 of Nightwave came on. And I think Wild Frenzy was available in an intermission, but I honestly don't remember which. Oh, and if you don't know about Brainstorm, this was a mod that was only available as a reward from the PvP thing. Conclave, that's it. Yes, I used to do Conclave, a lot of Conclave ones, but that's not important. It's a dark past of mine and all whatnot. Nowadays, you can just buy it for 20 credits, okay, from Nightwave offerings, in case you didn't know. It has a high drain, which is a bit on the weird side. So, now what I want you guys to do is take a look at just my ammo in the lower right-hand portion of the screen. Take a look. I'm missing a single ammo, even though I did put 120 bullets into that corrupted heavy gunner, because essentially the way Wild Frenzy works is that it calculates how many bullets it needs to unload at that full 400% fire rate when you pull the trigger or when you activate the secondary fire of the weapon. So bear that one in mind. Even though that I'm never gonna trigger the whole ammo restoration part of Wild Frenzy, I don't care anymore. Essentially, I use 2 bullets on 2 targets. Granted, I'm never gonna kill 2 corrupted heavy goons with a build such as this one, at least not level 120, but I'm not really using all that much ammo, am I now? Because I'm constantly triggering Brainstorm. This is a way you can go. It's fun, it's cool, essentially playing a bullet hose weapon, but it's not a very powerful build now, is it? If you want a more powerful build, we're gonna have to go back to Vital and Slash. But I thought it would be cool just to show you. You know, even though it doesn't, like, it's not all that powerful, it's kind of cool way to use mechanics and mods because, You know, same old build, boring, and it's not important. What is important? We gotta take off Brainstorm. There's not enough room on the build. I don't want to take off anything else. I don't want to take off my crit chance, my multi-shot, my damage, my critical. There's nothing I could take off right now. So my only option to keep this cool combo is to get rid of Brainstorm and go back to Vital and Mumu. It's a sad day, boys. Sad day, but what can you do? At least we don't get to use high voltage anymore, which was a tad on the expensive side. So once again, as before, but we're using Wild Frenzy in the option slot and Wild Precision in the weapon excellence slot. Now ideally, I would want to kill 2 targets, because if I don't kill 2 targets now, then I'm not gonna get the ammo restoration and I'm gonna burn through my ammo really quickly. So what I can do is roll out of the way. Doesn't work all that well, however. So essentially, hit a target, you're like a 50% ammo, roll out of the way, watch the slashes absolutely annihilate that target. Of course, this will work on level 120 corrupted heavy goons. If you guys are going for an endurance run, or maybe you're going steel path and you're going to be facing super high level targets, that's not going to work anymore. You're going to have to unload your entire magazine into a single target. But again, it is possible. See that? I got my ammo back because I did manage to kill 2 targets. My friends, that's pretty much it for standard builds on the Prisma Grakata. I love Wild Frenzy, I love what we can do with it. Pity that I can't get Steel Path level of performance out of it, because in all honesty, this is not Steel Path level of performance. Keep in mind that that excellence slot that we plugged in may not have an effect on the secondary fire of the Prisma Grakata right now, on Wild Frenzy, but it does have an effect on the standard primary fire. You will be getting that minus 36% fire rate if you choose to use the normal fire. So bear that one in mind. Now let's talk about Riven mods. One surefire way to increase the power of the Prisma Grakata is to use that Riven dispo of 4 out of 5, and this one is not mine. Of course, it's not mine. Why would it be mine? Critical damage, multi-shot damage, and minus impact. It's a fantastic Riven mod. Thank you so much for loaning me this one. MR8 unrolled. I mean, some people actually get these Rivens unrolled. You see that? He didn't even roll it. He didn't even roll. Anyway, 2 60-60 mods. We're gonna go again with Corrosive, Wild Frenzy, and Wild Precision because I like to use the secondary fire. You know why? Even though it's technically not as powerful as it could be, the build, it's at least something different. If I wanted just to play Hunter Munitions Vital, there's 1,000 bullet hoses that I can choose. Not 1,000, but like 5 better ones at the very least. So we're gonna go with the secondary. Look at that! How beautiful is that, man? And in this case, I do want to roll out of the way. Haha! Killed you. Killed you. Now I kill you. Now I roll again. You see that? Of course, this is a lot more trouble than a lot of players are willing to do in Warframe to kill their targets. But if you're looking for something fun, you know, fun in video game, this is definitely a way you could go. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, there's still one more thing which we can do. Bump up everything with Warframe buffs. And for that, we're going to be using the ever so lovely Lady Mirage Prime. And for fantastic, definitely for fantastic buffs. But I'm going to be using this fashion. Man, I love the wings. Wings on everything, my friends. Wings on everything. When it comes to Warframe buffs, we're going to do the usual corrosive projection against heavily armored targets is the way to go. But once again, if your build calls for something like, I don't know, Physique, Energy Siphon, or perhaps even Sprint Boost, go for whatever aura you desire. Here's a bit of a trick that you can employ if you want your aura, whatever it may be, to be slightly better, not a lot better, slightly. Coaction Drift is the way to go right here. You're going to be getting yourself 15% aura strength and 15% aura effectiveness. And I'm fully aware that this sounds a little bit fuzzy. What does it actually offer extra? You gotta go over to the wiki and see the table there. It's nicely laid out and explained. When it comes to Arcanes, now these carry a lot more weight than something like Coaction Drift. Arcane Rage R5 from the third Eidolon down on Cetus on headshot, 15% chance for plus 180% damage to primary weapons for a whopping 24 seconds. More than enough time to refresh it, especially with a weapon like the Prisma Grakata. And Arcane number 2, what is from my point of view the most powerful offensive Arcane in Warframe right now? Arcane Avenger R5. On damage, a 21% chance for plus 45% critical chance for 12 seconds. Bonus, additive after, simply stacking on top of what you already have. Applying to your primary, secondary, and to your melee at the exact same time. This being a primary weapon, we can still employ one last little trick. Grab yourself a sentinel, my friends. Any sentinel will do, for example, carrier, because ammo, and you need ammo. And on that sentinel's weapon, make sure you have the vigilante mods. Offense, supplies, fervor, and armaments for that 20% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. Even if the little sentinel dies and never comes back to life, you will still retain said buff. And now that the fashion has been fixed, we can respawn those targets. You know what? Let's bump up the level, 155. Unpause the target so they can hit me and I can get the buffs. We're going to be using Power on Mirage, then her fantastic free ability for an absolutely massive damage increase. And now, my friends, the time has come for the best animation in Warframe, her ever so lovely clone. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, if I do this, I better pray to God that I land all those bullets, because look, there's no headshots involved, they're just blindly firing at your target, but I always have the option to straight fire like that. And I got the precision from the Excellent slot. And again, it's a choice. If you still want the flexibility, right? Instead of Vile Precision, you can just keep on Stabilizer. It's not as good as Vile Precision. That extra 30% weapon recoil does make a difference between almost steady and steady. It is palpable, you can feel it, but like this at least, if you're gonna use the Prisma Grakata with its normal fire mode, not the secondary Wild Frenzy thing, right, you're still gonna be able to get the full DPS. So bear that one in mind. One more time, the Corrupted Heavy Goons, level 55 in this case. Time to draw some conclusions. The Prisma Grakata is not a meta weapon. Nor can it be in the current meta. But you know what? It's hella fun and I highly recommend it to just about anybody. It's a bullet hose, and bullet hoses by default are extremely fun because, well, you're gonna be peppering your targets with a whole lot of bullets. But not only that, you can also play something a little bit different through Wild Frenzy if you manage to get it, right? If you're bored of the same old routine and you wanna try the true bullet hose, if you will, then Wild Frenzy is definitely an option for you. So you gotta ask yourself, do you just want what's the best, what's most efficient, or do you want to try to have yourself a little bit of fun? As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And if you got any sorts of feedback for me, by all means, my friends, drop it in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below if you want to suggest any particular type of content. Now, in all honesty, I can't exactly promise you that it'll be next time or even within a week, because these things kind of take a while to make. But what I can promise you, I will be reading through each and every comment. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. But until next time, my friends, bye-bye.